I'm gonna put on some music. Just give me a second. I'm just thinking of what music to put on. Thinking of what music to put on. It's like gonna last for a bit. But the topic of the video,
eyeball blush out red as hell. Eyeball blush out red as hell. Eyeball blush out red as hell.
I shouldn't be listening to Kufa Clan, really. They say it opens up the door to demons, but really it's only if demons see you do something. Oh, that's also another thing. So demons only will give you something or not give you something depending on what they see. So if they see a symbol, a color on you, or if they see you as a black person and however they're programmed, they're going to determine a certain action, and they're going to get with their group and they're just going to do something. By the way, yes, witches read the Bible because witches are Christian. If you look at the etymology of Christian, or etymology, if you look at the etymology of witch, it actually referred to a practice. It didn't. Hold on. Let me go. Because these really don't explain what witchcraft actually is. They don't explain what it is. But it's a skilled person, really. It refers to a skilled person. It doesn't mean evil spirits. It doesn't mean anything about spirits. It just means a skilled person in of trade. Like witchcraft. Like craft means a person of trade, and the witch was a healer, so she was a Christian too. So witches were sorry the timer, it's my alarm. But witches were once Christian. Everything was once Christian at one point. Witches and warlocks were once in the church. So here I'm gonna explain something real quick. So basically, it's not a Hegelian lesson, but it's a multi-tiered acceptance of evil. So kind of like this. It's like, all right, but witchcraft is an evil, and Christians are not targeted. By the way, it's a Hegelian dialectic. They are targeted, but not really. I'm gonna put some geopolitics in perspective. Alright, say you had an immigrant and he targeted you, because immigrants target people who are native to their who are indigenous. Violent migrants normally target people who are native to the region, no matter where they go. And the Aboriginal or indigenous people get attacked everywhere. By indigenous, I mean Aboriginal, as in whatever was there was there. They may have afros, some may have different textured hair, some may have straight. You know, American Indians, they range from Negro to different phenotypes. Look at the Australian Aboriginal. Let's okay. Because this is a very, I would have to really I would have to really create a video about this. But any Aboriginal group is going to be looking diverse. Like they keep Aboriginal groups everywhere. But look at someone like him. That's an Aboriginal Australian. That's also an Aboriginal. Guess what? They're Aboriginals too. And so let's see. So I'm just quickly explaining that I don't know about them, but I know them and them, they're all the same people. Afro or not, they're all the same people. So these types of people are being targeted, regardless of being Christian or not Christian. They're being targeted because they're what? they're native to that region. So geopolitics factors into all of this. So all of this chosen one, you're chosen one, you're Jesus Christ. It's really a mix. They're mixing truth and lies together. So you got the foreigner, you got the enemy and the ally mixing together. The enemy is the foreigner. The enemy is and a lot of these demons that people talk about are actual people, by the way. They're actual people. I do believe that there is real spirits going on, but I do believe that there are actual people that try to give off an illusion, and the illusion works by having parasites in you. So essentially, the more parasites you have in you, the more, or whatever parasites they give you, whatever you get from them specifically, the more you can be programmed. It's what they call draconic juice, but really it's parasites. Because they need to siphon energy every time. Anytime someone says they're reptilian and they have to siphon energy, like, for instance, I met these reptilians and they were from fucking Haiti. Excuse my language. I shouldn't be really swearing like that. Although I don't think that swearing is bad, but it can open doors, as people say. It really doesn't. I don't know. Open doors of demons. I don't know. I question the legitimacy of that. It's not really about opening doors. It's whether or not that person has any prejudice themselves, and they want to justify some prejudice against you. And it's about witches and warlocks being bad, but I'm like, where are they coming from? Like, which witch? American witches? Okay, well, are they indigenous to America, native to America? Have they been here for 500 years? All these things factor into each other. What this whole thing is going on with Christianity, the religion, is taking away geopolitics. It's taking away white supremacy. It's taking off geopolitics. It's taking off black supremacy. Any type of geopolitical aspect that's going on is taking it away, and it's trying to make it seem like it's just, we're all fighting this world together against evil. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not all fighting. I'm a Native American. You're from Haiti. I'm not. You're not fighting for me. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to isolate the gang stalking. The gang stalking. They want to isolate you. They want to pervert you. They want to. And it's all planned, so it's like nothing's gonna happen to you during this whole process. But that's what's happening in these days. It's not really the last days. There's such thing as that. You're talking about the past 400, 500 years. So eventually they got bored. That's really it. These entities that they call entities are really just people from different countries who were the main cause of the problem, are just getting bored now. After, the biggest first 300 years, 400 years, okay, this is kind of exciting. We get new stuff, new technology, and after, you get into 400 years, you just, alright, it's getting boring. In the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, it gets boring and boring. 1950s, it gets boring. 1960s, 70s, and it keeps going, it just gets boring and boring. That's what it seems like. It seems like everybody's bored. And they are. Not everyone. But a lot of these people are bored. Everybody that you see in here, a lot of them are just bored. They have money. They sit at home and do shit. And don't do... Excuse me. They sit at home and they don't really do anything. I was around other... when I was younger, my older half-sister had this Christian group, was really demented, but they didn't do anything. They just had money. They'd go back. They wouldn't fight at all. They wouldn't train. And it just makes me think ethnicity matters. Geopolitics matters, and they remove geopolitics from this whole thing. But
I know what this ex-Satanist...
But then they talk about America. Why is America the center, and how is it affecting the indigenous? Well, it doesn't matter because it's a war against Satan, and if they're black, or if they're black American, or if they're African American, or if they're Well, majority of African Americans are Christian anyways, so why are we not included? Do you see what I'm saying? All these videos doesn't include the Black American Christians. I'm not talking about the popular ones that are perverted. I'm talking about the ones in the actual churches trying to fight as well. But you see all these other women who just want attention. A lot of these women just want attention. Have you noticed this? I'm not saying all women, but a lot of these women just want attention. They haven't gotten any attention, and they're finally saying, "Oh, finally! Well, what are they doing? What are they doing? A war against Satan? Oh, what's going on?" A lot of women want attention. A lot of men want their ego stroked about demons. They want to make fun of witches. They just want trying to find something to do. They're disgusting. They're depraved, disgusting people. And they come from all different types of parts of the world where there's disgusting, depraved stuff going. Third world countries. So I come from a third world country, and Jesus did not come for you, by the way. He only came for a specific set of people. I'm not talking about the Hebrew Israelites. I'm talking about any cults. No cults. Zero. Any cult that exists is gone. But to be fair, every cult that does exist technically started off with good intentions. But they've had a hand in infiltrating everything for the past 400 years now. Since slavery started. Slavery was the infiltration.
Lovi Elias says the most.
Slavery was and is the infiltration. And then it just kept going from each group, because what you're under, what you're essentially under is a really a pedophilia parasitical system. I say pedophilia because it's a genetic thing, and the genetic pedophilia is what the main cause of it. And then you say, "Oh, well, original light. What do you mean by pedophilia? That's kind of weird. What are you talking about? Why are you talking about this weird? What does pedophilia have to do with this?" It's the fact that all these entities, that they so-called entities, they want access. They see they're aliens, and they see everybody as this little lolicon. If you play Satan and Utsu, I'm going to talk about this too. Satan and Utsu, this is Satan basically. This is what Satan is. What Satan comes off as. This is what Satan actually is. So if you meet any real children of Satan, I mean a real children of Satan, not one that's fake, but a real genetic one. That's this thing. And like I said, what does it have to do with pedophilia? Pedophilia is a process. It's a process of these aliens seeing the indigenous people as children, and so they created a world of a babying type world where no one's gonna get hurt, and they shield you away from all the pain when really you need to embrace the pain, the real pain, not the fake pain that's gonna actually harm you, but the real pain that's gonna heal you. You're gonna feel like a relief, right? It's like if you're dating a girl and the whole time she's a lesbian, so the whole time the whole relationship just seems like laissez-faire, and then you'd be like, man, I wish it's like she wants to say something, but she keeps lying. Then she finally says it, and then it's like, wow, the whole time I wish, this is Sophia, the mother of Satan. If you know anything about Gnosticism, this is Sophia. I have her as a copper colored person not because black women are Satan, but because Satan's trying to become a black woman. That's a topic for another day. But Satan is trying to become a black woman. The devil, Satan, and demons are trying to become like black women. And they come from this sludge. Disgusting sludge. I don't know where they come from. But they look beautiful as a start. When they first come out, they look like this. You ever seen a woman that just looks amazing, and then, or a man that looks really good, and then somehow they just got fat and nasty? Well, sometimes it's black magic, and sometimes it's black magic poisons and parasites making them sick, but they don't look ugly or spin. But then they turn to this. Then over time they turn to this. It's demented. It has no consciousness. Doesn't even want to survive, really. But it's in this limbo state of dying and living. You know. And then she wants the seed of Adam, really. So Sophia wants the seed of Adam. Satan wants the seed of Adam, wants the black man. So he becomes a black woman, or what he thinks is a black woman. And supposedly many of these women that I have that are black, this is a Jamaican woman, basically. This is a Jamaican woman. This is what they're from. Jamaica, Caribbean, satanic women. One could say, well, hey, why are they doing this to someone like you? Why are they doing this to me? Why are they doing this to the world? Because Kingdom of Darkness. There is a source of, and I want to say Kingdom of Darkness because that's see, another thing too is everybody wants to sound cool when they're really just a pervert, a pedophile pervert. I'm a murderer. You know what that means? You're just a pervert, pedophile pervert, just a pedophile, a murderer. Murderers are just pedophiles. Killers are also pedophiles. Why am I mean everything is a pedophile? Because it's a genetic disorder that demeans the bloodline of humanity. It's just perversion. But if you look at these serial killers and you look at these murderers, they want to sound cool. They're trying to alter your perception. Oh, I'm from the hood, I'm a murderer. I'm like, what? You're a disgusting creature. Killers, murderers, they're disgusting. I mean, I guess they did what they had to have to do to cover up. I'm not judging, but I'm like, if you're a real one, if you're a real one, I'm not talking about one. It's like a zombie movie. You know what? I'm gonna make a comparison between a zombie movie. You know, in the zombie movie Walking Dead, how they covered up themselves in guts and blood to seem like they were like them. It's like that. They're just covering up. They're not actually evil. They're not actually nasty. They're just covering up. And that could be what a lot of these people into the cult. It could just look like that they're evil.
You're a Christian witch and you have a Bible.
But I have, on many accounts, in fact, spoken with these supposed people who may or may not be undercover, come from the oppressive class of these countries. They call themselves demon and entities. I'm like, if you're an entity, what the hell are you doing on my turf? For one, kill yourself. Two, kill yourself back in your own homeland. Well, it turns out that these people in this homeland, they're not actually a part of the native population from where they're from. They're a part of the oppressive class. And there are different oppressive classes trying to run away from the sins of from them. It's not that they're ancestors, it's just them. I do believe in spiritual principalities, so I do believe in demons. But after you get rid of the demons and you get rid of the narcotics and you get rid of the drugs, what's left? That person's bloodline. See how much influence that they have without the possession. It's just parasites in you. And this has been confirmed in a conversation I had with multiple people. I'm like, is it parasites? It's parasites. It's parasites. If you read about Gnosticism discusses Yabodola, the archons. Now, I don't think any of this stuff is evil, by the way. The archons are not considered. I think we use names because we say God's not evil, but then some people say God's evil. So these names and titles eventually got perverted. It's really an entity that has actual no name, meaning no origin. So if I got a first name and last name, my first name and last name, I got an origin, I got a name, I got a geographical origin. But the demiurge is that parasite effect. You look at the demiurge. If you look at the image of the demiurge, it's very similar to that of a parasite. And that's what creates the supernatural world. The parasites do. Now, there's two things that can go wrong with this. Notice I didn't say two things, one thing can go right or wrong. I said there's two things that go wrong with this. One realization and one wrong route. So the realization is one, you've had parasites in you your whole life. So if you got rid of them, you might die. Actually die. Because they now program and they build hybrids, what they call red pills and blue pills. Right? If you are a hybrid like in the Matrix, if you're like Neo, he's always going to be connected to the system. So even if he disconnects, he's going to have some level of influence in the real world still. Remember that in the second movie? In the second movie, let's look at what
we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here.
What do you do with the Sentinels? That's what happened. Neil was a hybrid. He was one of them. And he was able to use his frequencies. You're able to use his frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies, and like amplify it and bring that into reality, or bring his powers into reality. I believe he didn't have a power per se. His body just. What happened? I think what happened in this moment was something very natural. Is that his body simply acted as if he had powers and created some type of electromagnetic field. And the field that he created with his mind and body in his because it's so pure, and because it was somewhat bioelectronic, it gave him it was like he was like an amplifier. So I believe he didn't have powers here. I believe that it was an amplifier. This is a very unexplained moment in Revolution. It's explained, but it's never really. That's one thing about it in like the third movie, is that they never went further into this, like how he's able to bring more stuff into reality. But this is showing you a part of Gnosticism, that you left the Matrix and you were able to grab power from the Matrix and bring it into real life. One could say that the parasites maybe are helping you and giving you power if you're able to control it. That's very difficult to talk about. It's not really about good and evil. It's more about false and true. What's false and what's true? What's conclusive? You know, they like to say anime is real. But why would you say this as an attraction? A lot of anime is actually evil. Your attraction, your addiction to anime is evil. The anime culture is evil. They basically want people to start participating into this. A lot of recruits, they really just finding new recruits to participate into. Most of them, like I said, in a geopolitical sense, it's all tied together. So it's to keep the Aboriginal people confused. So if you keep everything neutral and never explain anything, then it's gonna seem like it won't matter. You know, I engaged with someone in a spiritual moment, and it was like, oh, I said, does it matter about being a black man? He said, oh no, it don't matter. I'm like, really? I'm like, interesting. Regardless if this is an illusion or not, the women, I can't. It's way easier for me to get something else and something other than that because of perception. So they still wanna feign ignorance here. And they want to create this lie that we're all in this together. It's only a certain few people in it together. When you go to the store, let me ask you this. When you go to Walmart, yeah, see, what is this idiot doing?
Let me ask you this.
Talking to young occultists, real Christian. Like, what's the purpose of this? Well, are you coming together just to stop all this? Or is this just like, it's just for show for so many of them? And the ones that actually get harmed are the indigenous people. We get harmed for their occult, for their entertainment. It's all a game. It's all a trick, really. The game is to trick the actual Aboriginal and the people that are trying to work to fight against it. So you have the good side, the authentic side, and inauthentic side. Just to hide from the fact that some millions of these other entities and spirits are dying. I'm disgusted because I just talked to a so-called entity and said, oh, I don't care what you have to say. I'm like, I'm a Native American. Like, what did you just tell me? You don't care what I have to say? I'm the one that's native to the land. You're criticizing me for what? There's a lot of murder and blood. Oh, there's a lot of murder and blood out here. There's niggas killing everybody out here. I'm like, I should have seen it. Yeah, that happens. But I'm not saying what I did was a good thing, but when you're being talked to like that by something that's not from here, like I said, it could easily be that a lot of this is a cover-up. Meaning you cover yourself in the guts and the blood of what they're doing. So you do what they do, but not what they actually do. So you just cover up. You're like a spy. So you cover up. Look like a zombie. Act like a zombie. Say something a zombie would say. Oh, I want to eat brains. Are you going to eat brains? Yeah. Maybe you could if you're protected by something, and then you throw it up afterwards, or you make sure it doesn't get into your genes or your biology. With your biology, immune system. Maybe thought of that. Maybe a lot of people just covering up, good and bad. You have evil covering up as good and good covering up as evil, in between, just to confuse the actual evil. So there's real evil that has to be confused. So the real evil, the demiurge, before he awakens, he has to be confused. Confuse the demiurge from awakening. Just confuse him forever, for as long as you can, until you find a solution for him. So even create a false scenario situation. See, the good side and the bad side seems like they're one and the same, but it's not that they're one and the same. It's just that the good realize that there's something worse than the bad that they're fighting, and the bad's gonna go down. It's gonna be judged with the thing that the bad is also fighting. Because see, what the bad did, it was bad. What the bad side did is, let's release something that's actually evil. and keep everything distracted and create a fake war by creating a real war by creating a fake war, which exposes the real war. And after they did all the gang stalking, isolating, and picked and choose who they want to isolate, where they want to isolate to, now you have this. And on the subject of demons and entities, they see what they see. They're evil. I had nothing going on one day. Just nothing. I was just wearing black. Well, it turns out wearing black probably wasn't a great idea. Wearing black probably was not the brightest idea. Probably should have wore red. I probably attracted them. It's like nothing you do really will change the fact. I was wearing all black one day, or not all black, but I was wearing different color shirt, and I still got hit with something because I had patterns on me, and the patterns may see that. So demons, entities, or people who are programmed, whatever they're programmed to see, they might see a symbol. They see a symbol, they see a triangle, and they signify it as you're part of a gang, a murderer's gang. It's all about intention. So what's the intention of creating something fake? Doing something fake, creating fakeness isn't bad. It's not really necessary evil, it's just necessary. Because you're living in a world with fake plastic people. Not even real plastic, just fake plastic. They want to be real so bad. They're like Pinocchio. But here's the thing about Pinocchio. Is Pinocchio at the end of the day learned how to be a real boy. He learned from his mistakes. And I believe that's a story about the Aboriginal. I believe the Aboriginal was put on a journey to learn how to be real. And I believe the bad side was also given that choice. I believe that Satan and Jesus are almost one and the same. Not one and the same, but they're side by side. Satan, it was put on the journey of becoming a real person, and Jesus was becoming a real person. Virgin births, they both had it. The suffering, they probably knew each other. Saw each other's journeys, figured each other out, best friends. Technically, the word Satan means adversary, so I won't say Satan. I'll say like the perverted one, the inverted one. But they want to keep you docile to this information. They want to keep you docile. They want to prevent you from understanding the real truth. The real truth is that there is indeed a Gnostic reality. And a lot of these people aren't even exposing anything. What they're doing is they're just not even acting. Just, I don't know what they're doing, what's going on in their heads. But a lot of these women just want attention. A lot of these guys just didn't have attention or had a lot of ego. A lot of these people that talk on here, they don't have a real business. They don't got a business. They don't got a real plan for anything. And you don't even need a plan for anything. You just need to do it. They're just, I can't stand them. They're just wanting attention. All of them. The men and these women from all these countries want attention because they want to come off like some type of hero. They still didn't save nobody. They didn't save my siblings. They didn't save my indigenous sensibilities. Not that I want them to save me.
Listen to what this
We saved ourselves. We indigenous people saved ourselves. Native Americans saved ourselves through Jesus Christ, the blood of Jesus. And not just Jesus, but Jesus the Mayan. Jesus the native, the aboriginal, because he was an aboriginal as well. It goes back to the Mayans. You look at the Mayans, they had a Jesus on the cross. So we've always believed in Jesus. He just had a different name. And the name of the Mayan Jesus It was the dog. It was the dog god. Zolotl. He was an Aztec guy. But that's the guy that souls the dead. So that's Anubis. I kind of have reverse feet. And so Zolta was a multi-phase deity, as it states here. It's very interesting, isn't it? I often identify with this creature. In fact, I'm pretty sure I am this entity. The guy you're talking to who's a Native American, I'm pretty sure I am this underworld dog. I always identify with the dog, but I also identify as other entities in spirits, as fire, twin. So I had a twin that died, but I'm not gonna get into that though. That's my twin. But a lot of these people are faking it. They're faking it. They want attention. Talk about their spiritual journey. I don't know what they see in their spiritual journey. I don't think any of these people are all evil. I just think I don't think being a witch is evil either, actually. Because again, all these things were meant to be good. But what had happened is that demons have gotten into the church and they took command over it. So spirits and entities, which we know are just people, we know these entities are foreign. So evil foreign entities started getting into the church, perverting everything, rewriting the books, misinterpreting everything, intentionally misinterpret something. That's perversion. When you intentionally misinterpret something so no one will get it. I don't think any of these people are bad though. I don't think everybody, and I may not know every person's story. Because this matrix, we don't know, this matrix is different. They say it doesn't matter no more. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. But what they're really saying is, what they're really trying to do is they are trying to persuade whatever they are away from it. And the people that are saying this are the ones causing it. Like I said, they come from these places. They come from these places. In the Caribbeans. Jeffrey Epstein in the Caribbeans. I mean, the Caribbeans is deep in there. Someone said it's all fake, it's not real. He's not doing anything to the girls or the kids. No one's doing anything to girls or kids. That's all an illusion. But if I was sexually abused as a child, and I met other people that sexually abused, like my father, or all of the Aboriginal people who have been abused. If abuse exists, why doesn't anything else exist? It all exists. Some of it's planned though. Satan is a great organizer. He's not very good at doing things sporadically, but he's a great organizer. But he only organizes for whatever he's planning for. He can't plan for anything that's outside of that realm. Or I want to call him the perverted one. The perverted one is a parasitical entity. I don't know what created them, who created them, but I do believe the Chinese had a hand in it. I believe the Chinese had a big hand in this. I believe the Chinese are the ones that manufactured this vaccine to remove the soul. So we're going to get into that too. Vaccines. Let's see. So, vaccine to remove the soul. His name is Robert Steiner. Here it is. Excuse me. Check this video out. Vaccines to kill the soul. And what is the soul? The soul is in the gut. Gets the bloodstream, gets into your intestines, goes into your intestines, gets into your spine, and it's other parts that are creating these illusions and creating the dementation. So your iPhone, I don't know when, but one day I started getting addicted to my iPhone. I would sit in my room for hours on this iPhone. I'm like, what is going on with me? And unfortunately, it's a conditioning. I was told that the iPhones were evil, or rather, the 5G was gonna do something. I believed it, but then I was like, I don't see anything. Then I get hit with something. Again, it's the parasites. The parasites in your body creates, anytime it interacts with a frequency like 5G, it disturbs it and it gets you addicted to it. So it's not to say that iPhones are evil per se. Steve Jobs was an ass. He was not a good person. Or I don't say he was a bad person. I was saying he was very delusional. And while Apple has a great computer, Mac computer, Apple has not that great of phones. Personally, my opinion, I don't think the iPhones are that great. You can't really customize them. You do anything to them, it breaks. You have to jailbreak it, but then you lose your warranty. You can't switch out your battery. You can't switch out any of the mainframes. You can't switch out the motherboard. Android is the way to go. I'm not promoting it. I'm actually promoting Android. I'm promoting Android. I like Android. I'm promoting any phone like Android. Even an old kitty phone, Summit phone, what I got. Much better than an iPhone. I do believe the iPhone has its warrants, benefits though. You don't get a lot of viruses with it. But if you're good with your Android, you set up VPNs on your phone. You can have it from your computer, you get it. It seems like a commercial ad I just did right now, but I'm pretty slick with that. I have other channels. I've been considering on whether or not to put this on my main channel, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna put it on my main channel, Xahwah Productions. So I'm gonna have to start introducing this as Xahwah Productions. I'm gonna probably make an edit, but yeah, this is Xahwah Illuminaco Productions, and this is just things I believe in. I think about, maybe not believe in, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm just an Aboriginal man from Memphis, Tennessee. All my documents say it. My ancestors say it. And I don't think myself is special. I never did. I never saw myself as more special than anybody. I think any of my people going through this, I consider all authentic people special. I'm not talking about the 144, which as number was never meant. The 144 number could have been meant for something else. It could have been meaning it could have been a multiplier of numbers. That each number could be within a number in itself. We don't even think about that. We just look at the number 144, and maybe they did create that. You gotta remember, they're creating. So in a Gnostic world, the fake world, they're creating something off of other myths and legends. So they take myths and legends, pervert them, misinterpret them, then make that the main game where you play like everybody else. So the rules of the game is you're supposed to play like everybody else is playing. Everybody. But I'm told I'm too stupid to understand that. I wasn't actually too stupid to understand that. It was that the games that I was playing, I was never going to win them. Because they did not like my indigenous blood. I'm Aboriginal. I come from Memphis. Everybody I was working with came from Jamaica, Caribbean, Congo. They had some animosity towards me. They didn't tolerate certain things. They don't like me to do certain things. They don't tolerate it. They don't think you can do it. But that's what they want. You think it's your fault. You think the whole time you're stupid. I'm like, no. It's just they're cheating. They're trying to get an advantage over you by poisoning your mind, poisoning your food, poisoning your body, poisoning everything. They're trying to get an advantage over you. This whole 400, 500 years just getting an advantage over you. What made them think that? Because we kind of found out already what they wanted to do. They're trying to invert really themselves. Not anybody else, except just themselves. But they have to do these little things to harm other people. In their mind, harming someone means physical harm. Killing one of their family members. Stealing all their money. They don't think about what about their very existence could be harming them. And they may have demons in them, curses in them, and demons in them. You break those. Or we'll see what they feel like afterwards. So you tell me. If I'm 6'5" and someone's 3'6", and they will never have the genes to produce a giant. They can produce one. By the way, the pygmies produce giants. No one knows this, but they slowly pygmies produce giants. I'm truly believe that the pygmies produce giants. It was the smallest thing that created the largest thing, and the largest thing that created the smallest thing. And that's just how the world, our universe operates. The universe operates off of irony. So what's ironic? Well, a small thing can create a big thing. A big thing can create a small thing. I work off of that, and it often works. All the time. You go where the money goes, and you find all the bullshit. But yes, a lot of this for a lot of people is just an act for them. I spoke with a lot of people. I spoke with a Christian man, a white Christian man. I said, do you like black women? He said, no, I like a golden white woman. Now, do you think in all this spiritual talk that we're talking about, do you really think that in a war of good and evil, he believes in the same war that you're fighting? They say, well, you're well, you come from this tribe or this group or Aboriginal, and you're not fighting the war of good and evil. You're too weak, and you blah 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 blah. Geopolitics. They're trying to remove your brain and make you ignorant. They're trying to make you ignorant. So when you actually face something good and powerful, you become ignorant to it. And what the good and powerful thing is going to say, why are you being ignorant? It might do something to you or harm you. I met a giant too, a giant woman, 8 feet tall. I'm like, this woman must come from the Caribbean or somewhere from Africa. I was right. If you know anything about that history, you know that there are Caribbean giants that came up into North America and started causing violence. There are also other good giants too. There's a good race and there's an evil race. There's a good race and there's an evil race, and the good race is like me, and the evil race is like them, and we see each other similar, or they see us like them, or trying to make us like them. And unfortunately, it doesn't work, because we end up exposing them. Look what Michael Jackson did. Why do you think the world's replacing itself with other immigrants and other cheap people? Because they won't say anything. People that are cheap won't say anything, because they're getting something. They're cheap. They cheap and dirty. Cheap and dirty. Cheap and dirty. And being dirty doesn't mean you have to do anything. It means by not saying what's actually causing the main problem. If my car has some issues with it, got bugged, radiator was about to bust, tires about to blow out, and you didn't tell me, you tried to kill me. Why? You should have given me your old car. That old car was nasty. I was like, you gonna kill me with that old car. You're gonna kill me with that old car. And they don't see a problem with that. So they're not gonna kill you directly, they're gonna do it indirectly. It's just another, I mean, everybody does it really. This world is very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. It's dangerous because it tries to create something called unawareness. Unawareness is a dangerous thing. Because you can destroy yourself through unawareness and not know it until it's too late. Look at what happened to Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. Look what he became. Went to the dark side. And was nothing but perversions. He wasn't having fun. He was miserable, suicidal, genocidal, broken. He was actually broken man. These broken men. Broken chosen one. Look what he did. Killed the younglings. Tried to kill his best friend, mentor. All these terrible things. Terrible, right? Now you're starting to see how bad this really is. How all of this is an illusion, but the illusion unpacks a certain group of people. The copper-colored aboriginal, the aboriginal. All over the world. And it's way worse outside of America. See, America is a safer zone because the Aboriginal fought to make it safer. But regardless, it's worse in Australia. It's worse in Africa. I bet you they would not have the same protections at all. Not in Ghana, not in Sierra Leone, not in Liberia, not anywhere else. Zero. It's terrible. It's all these damn cults out here. These damn cults. And you gotta be careful. Because unfortunately, I'm not careful because I open my mouth up too much. I'm told to shut up by my enemies. But I also will speak up. I've always been able to speak up before I had these demons in me anyways. Throat chakra, eyes chakra. I never needed your damn thing. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to replace you. What they're trying to do is they're trying to covertly replace your abilities with their abilities. They can't steal them, but they'll try to somehow create some sort of replacement thing within you. You didn't need them. Unless you're a hybrid like them, you would still fall into the hive mind eventually. The only people that escaped were the humans. The whole time you were plugged in. So if you're a hybrid, you just plugged in. You're always plugged in. You're never gonna plug out. Pray to God that you're not a hybrid. Because if you're an actual hybrid, you're dangerous. You just turn on and off just like that. Be possessed by something just like that. Possessed by the enemy. of mankind, of aboriginal kind. You just get possessed just like that. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's some serious stuff out here. And the reason why nothing's happening physically is because they're preparing everything from a metaphysical sense. So now they're trying to create a metaphysical reality, so now everybody's at home. So COVID-19 did something very interesting. It made people more paranoid, lazier. It made me stronger. This is making me weaker because they've been poisoning me. But when COVID started, I got strong. Everybody else got weak. Now it's the opposite. Now they're getting stronger. Now I'm getting weaker. They poisoned me. But thankfully, I'd taken care of myself long before all this happened. So I was preparing. God was preparing me, preparing my body to not be perverted. And technically, they don't want your body perverted. They just want control. They want to control your consciousness. They want to be actual implants in there. It's just a means to pervert you. You have to cleanse. You have to get rid of the parasites and cleanse. It's terrible. But that's what's going on. I can't even trust New Breed, because New Breed says he's from Africa and he's been using guns and shit, and I'm like, you know what? He's probably a part of the same game too, the Chosen One thing. Where did that even come from? Who gave him the knowledge of the Chosen One? Maybe he already knew it. That's all I say. I call these people grotesqueries. That's what you're fighting. You're fighting grotesqueries. And in the third dimension, what you can see right now in this dimension, they just look like they kind of look fugly looking. They look fugly looking. They don't look right. I don't talk right. Don't act like. Can't speak English. Can't speak any English. Incomplete. It's a result of bioengineering. They're trying to engineer something authentic. They're trying to copy an authentic person, and it's not working. But they're learning. The problem is that they're learning. Stop them from learning. Don't let them into your home. Don't let them see what you're building. Don't let them hear what you're hearing. Don't even let them hear any of your music. Don't let them hear anything. Don't let them see anything. Even if they stay there for another 100 years, just let them sit there paralyzed, waiting to see something, to do something, so it can create something. I've always had the intuition to see these things. No one gave it to me. The evil God did not give me the same thing from. They didn't, you know. But this is just how I feel right now. I could be totally wrong. It could be tomorrow. You know what? Everything was just a fucking trick. Nothing was happening to you. It was a trick. Eventually, they're going to give up. These groups exist, but they're going to give up. Because the people that they're recruiting are cheap and dirty. I want everybody to remember that a cheap and dirty person is a cheap and dirty person. And unfortunately, cheap and dirty people can find ways to retain their consciousness and find different ways to cheat the system, which is meant for them. Which then you could say maybe they're superior. If they can cheat the system, they're just superior then. But they gotta do dirty stuff to do it. You gotta accept the pedophile in order to get a new body, new teeth. It's not the white man that's doing this, by the way. He has no power to say in this. It's not him that's doing this. It is the perverted ones. The perverted ones. They have tons of ethnic monikers. It's also they're African American one day. They'll say that they're Caribbean tomorrow. They'll say they're all these things. They're just perversions. And what is a perversion? Retardation. What's retardation? It doesn't function. Perversion is making something no longer function than what it was intended for. You can't turn a hammer into a jackhammer. You can't turn a small hand hammer into a jackhammer. Maybe you can with enough force. It may work a little bit, but it shouldn't work fully. And like I said, geography matters. If they come from the Caribbean, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna be weird. They're gonna be rapists, pedophiles. They don't have a proper sex offender registry in these countries. So how much evil has they done already? None of us have done any evil in Americas and anywhere. But what have they done that we could not see? But we do see it. We see it all the time. They try to hide. We're like the serpent. We're like the serpent in the garden. It's in the reverse. We're gonna give you the knowledge of evil, and we're gonna make you see yourself, and that's what's gonna kill them. To destroy your enemy, you have to make him see that he's his own enemy. Literally, that he's his own enemy, and he'll just die. Stop existing. The entire thing will be a contradiction. He'll just implode on himself. And his entire consciousness just dies. You remember, his consciousness, the more he dives into deep dives, the more of a parasite he becomes. The more of the parasite he becomes, the more he becomes more mechanical. So he can be easily stopped with a word or a command. So it's like the powerful they get, the more commandable that they become. And anybody can say it. The magic word. Or not the magic word. And unfortunately, like I said, they create hybrids, and some of them are fake. They were never one of you. They were never one of you from the beginning. There was no traitor. He was a plant. From the very beginning. Very, 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 very beginning. Look at people like Charleston White. You look at all these supposed OGs, Lachette, Gangsta Boo, who work for the system. Gangsta Boo might have just been created for the system, because it's a part of the parasite system. As much as I love Gangsta Boo latest shit, I love him. I do. But this is all evil that we're spouting. We're being taught evil. Well, I won't say talking about those killing niggas is not evil, because most of the time it's a legitimate reason. As a nigga myself, it's a legitimate reason that they gotta die. They even believe that they should be killing themselves. That's interesting. Their enemy believes in killing, but you don't. I don't believe in killing. I'm a villain. We're all villains. I do believe in sending you back where you came from without even harming you. The greatest harm to yourself is making you become aware of yourself. The greatest harm that I can do to you is making you become aware of yourself. The greatest harm, the greatest villain didn't have to touch nobody. Booker T. Washington was not a superhero, he was a villain. He didn't have to touch nobody. And all he did was command millions and millions of his own people to take over the entire South. That's a super villain. Booker T. Washington was a villain. We got villains. We got people we can learn from in our society. Villains and heroes we can learn from, but they're not aware of themselves. Make them aware of themselves and make them break. Because now when they're doing all this demonic shit, parasitical stuff, when they do something normal, it's just gonna break them. It's gonna actually break them. They don't have remorse. Maybe they do have remorse. Maybe they think they have remorse. Whatever it thinks, whatever they think. It's all very evil and insidious. But that's all I have to say for the podcast because I'm getting tired. Xahwah Illuminaco out. Thanks for listening to my little podcast. Have a great day.